emotions can be so overwhelming that you can't even put words to them. And being quiet when I was really sick, it was really breath by breath when I was really sick. So that was where my concentration was, because I did get pneumonia in the middle of, bone marrow transplant, a stem cell transplant is really intensive chemotherapy. And so it wipes out your immune system, which means that if I caught a cold like this when I had that during that time, I'd be dead. But I did get pneumonia, and so my lungs were like 99.7 occluded, basically. And so I had oxygen over my face. And I think that my mindfulness meditation was to surrender, was to allow myself to not fight what was happening, and to really let myself just breathe, breath by breath. Did that take concentration? Yes, but not the kind of concentration that it took when I was on retreat. In fact, I would go on retreats and I'd say, because one of the factors of waking up is energy. And I had no energy. And we've actually brought mindfulness to the bone marrow transplant unit to answer those questions. What can it help? Can it help to pay attention? What about concentration? What is meditation really? What is this awareness? And I think a lot of it is acceptance, and a lot of it is letting yourself be present with what is, not to fight it, but to fight what is possible, which is when you need to breathe, and you need not to force yourself to when you need not to contract out of fear, you better not be afraid. And if you are, you have to accept it and then come back to the next breath or sound, or the body lying in the bed and feeling the covers. And that, to me, is also mindfulness meditation. So it's a different interpretation than you might get classically if you were on a meditation retreat. So I don't know if that partially answers the question, but it's given me a much bigger concept of what it is. And yeah, energy is really important, and the ability to concentrate is really important. But if you can't do it, you can't do it. Then I think connectivity is important. I think love is important. I think seeing the sunrise and the sunset is important, and they have it register. And I think feeling held and connected is really important. And in my definition, that's mindfulness meditation. So it's a larger definition. And it's very hard to teach. So I think that it works in the classes that have been created at the Center for Mindfulness, or the work that I do, or that we did on the transplant unit, or a lot of the researchers. I think a lot of it is about what is being transmitted from the person who's doing the work, from the physician, or from the researcher, or from the nurse, or the friend. We're transmitting all the time. Are we transmitting fear? Are we transmitting anger? Or are we transmitting love and care? To me, that's part of mindfulness meditation. So, I don't know if that answers the question, but I've had to go bigger. And I still go and sit on retreats, because I do get tired more easily, and I'll say, what about energy? And you know what? I haven't really gotten a good answer. So I think it's part of this is we all have to learn for ourselves. And what does it mean to be free of suffering?
I lost a sister in non-Hodgkin's, and I was actually trying to help her out, but I don't think I was good enough like you are. So,
I think your love is more than you realize. And the other thing I've learned is we have to respect wherever a person is. I work with hospice workers sometimes, and it's heartbreaking to see how someone you love may not be listening to your wisdom, and it's making it harder for themselves, but you have to respect it. And know that your very presence is powerful. And we all, I find it's really difficult to accept limitations. And that's part of it. And not be judgmental. It's very difficult. So I wouldn't say you wouldn't help her. Maybe it wasn't as easy as you wished it could have been.
I have a question. I'll just speak loudly. I'm curious to know, Alana, to what extent you were influenced by some of the Eastern philosophic traditions, Buddhism, yoga, Patanjali, etc.?
When I was sick, or now, or when I'm influenced. It's part of my life. To teach, to do this work, you have to live this work. So it's a part of my life. But I incorporate it with other influences too. I think I was really fortunate. I think I had loving parents. And I'm also a psychotherapist. And so I get to bring them together. I think that whatever has been unresolved when you're sick comes to the fore. And they better do your homework now because you need it. And so, yes, my mind, meditation, you're cultivating seeds. You're cultivating seeds of ethics. You're cultivating seeds of wisdom. You're cultivating seeds of honesty, of kindness, of goodness. And all of that is a part of me. It was a part of my heritage. It was a part of what it drew me to meditation in the beginning. My care for, I've always enjoyed being with other people. I've always appreciated them. That's a part of me. So it's honoring that. So I think we're drawn to what sort of makes sense to us. So yes, the answer is it influenced me a lot. And this whole book also was, how can I really bring into my life what I'm teaching, which is there's more right with you than wrong, and to be present in this moment, especially if it's a moment of something I don't like. How can I be with it and be in peace?
In your mindfulness development, right from the first time you ever heard of it or practiced it, could you tell us who your gurus were?
I don't like gurus. I've had some bad experiences with certain gurus. I have some wonderful teachers. This is just my language. Gurus are wonderful. They're wonderful. My own personal experience was, my background has been Vipassana meditation. I think there's many different wonderful ways. I listen to you. I think it's wonderful. There are many. You have to trust. You have to trust that the person you're with is trusting, is trustworthy. You look at their actions. You look at the people they taught. You see what kind of environment and community is around these people. How do they handle money? I've had a lot of experience with the center in Barrie, Insight Meditation Center. So that's been my background. But I'm looking for some more teachers right now. There's many ways. My rabbi was helpful to me, even though I'm not particularly religious in the Jewish faith. My yoga friends have been helpful to me. I think you have to trust your own experience and listen, really listen deeply and observe what is it that this person that you're going to learn from is teaching. So I don't know if that, again, answers the question, but it's good to experiment. It's good to listen, and it's good to keep observing and keep learning. And I take recommendations, so maybe after I'm done, if you have someone you think is just particularly great, let me know about it. I'd like to experience them. But you can't experience everyone. So the people in my world that have been influential have been people actually in the Vipassana community. So, yeah.
How receptive have you found the medical community? I know it's always impressed me that the Center for Mindfulness is in a medical school, but probably like other people, I've had some cancer experiences, and the mindfulness and the alternative has always been that. It's been seen as alternative or adjunct or separate or only if the patient wants. And this is part of the acceptance, I think, by patients and seeing it as an option. What's your experience now?
I think it's growing. I think it's becoming much more acceptable. I think many more medical schools are having a component that's integrative medicine, where there's some discussion about where there's experiencing meditation, there's experiencing yoga. It's still new. It's still, a lot of the physicians are older, or they just, they need to experience for themselves. It's growing. It's not easy. So it does take perseverance. It does take, I'm still banging on the doors at the Cancer Center in Mass. It's been very hard to get a program going in there. I taught meditation at the Zakem Center at Dana-Farber, and my position was eliminated. My friend who's a music therapist is still able to be, but we did this wonderful study. It's happening, more and more. One of the slides is of books. There's so many books being written now on this subject that it's happening. But it takes more than a village. It takes a lot of people to bring it into the hospital. It takes physicians talking to physicians. I'm a social, not going to even bother. I'll go back to it. I'm a social worker. So one of the things I've learned is to stick with what I can do and to try to influence others to do what they can do. So if you know physicians who are interested, if you know doctors, if you know nurses, if you know administrators, if you know people, these are the 5 remembrances to keep in mind. Let them spread the word. I do a free drop-in meditation now in Worcester. It's in the School of Massage. It's free. It's on their website. Anyone can come. It's my way of saying, come, experience, see what it's for you or not. Have to keep at it. It has been hard.
Do you find that medical personnel, physicians and nurses, have practices and meditation
A
practices?
lot of practices. Oh, it's growing. It's growing a lot because people come to this Center for Mindfulness. Their training programs are really expanding and really growing, yes. I'm doing something in Omega this fall. Go look. The programs all over the place. And there are many wonderful programs. So it's happening slowly. Keep at it. It's yeah.
You had mentioned earlier that there's a lot of people doing this just for money and that there's really tendency.
I shouldn't say a lot. I apologize for that. Some
But
are.
if you, but if you are a novice, how do you distinguish between, a center that is well curated and it's really selling, meditation courses, but
I think you need to go yourself and see. You need to talk to the people there. You need to know what kind of work do they do. I think it requires a little investigation. What is their training? What's their experience? Who have they helped? Have they helped people? What has happened? Have they done any writings? Have they done research? And then if you can go without paying a fortune to experience it, what is the entree? What is, what kind of information do you get? There's many different ways, I think. It's a really good question. I know at the Center for Mindfulness, we look at how much experience people have. We look at the integrity, we talk to them. We sometimes will go and observe them. So, and there's a whole criteria along the way. So you want to ask a lot of questions. And then trust what you believe, trust your own experience. I don't know if that's an adequate answer, but you do your best. Most people are honest. Most people really are honest. And how clear are they with what they're promising you? If I were to promise you happiness today, and I just did a class, I taught a class on equanimity, but the first thing I said was, we're doing this on equanimity because I need to practice it. We all need it. So honesty is important.
I think we're out of time. So I want to thank you very much and give you a small token of our appreciation for your being here today.
Thank you.
Under the weather.
Thank you.